of evidence we believe that's coming in through the next witness. It states Exhibit 1515. It is items of paperwork that were recovered from my client's car, specifically a behavioral contract for methadone therapy at the Community Action Against Addiction program that's got some doctor's instructions in there per Dr. Franco, some discussion about my client's compliance. There's also some AA meeting list, and then there's a information sheet. It looks like something that the clinic gives out talking about the myths and beliefs of methadone. A couple different pages on that. Some things about personal boundaries that look like they're relevant to treatments. And then ultimately, an order of probation from the court in Alabama. I know the state probably wishes to treat those as one exhibit, whereas if one comes in, they all come in, but I would disagree with filling exhibits as one because that's how they were collected.
How did they come in? What's their relevance?
Judge, if
the papers didn't cause an accident.
I understand that, Judge, but
unless you're looking at them while you're driving.
If we found an empty bottle of oxycodone with a script on it, and the allegation was impairment, I would submit that it's relevant evidence. This is relevant evidence to our claim.
Have you not established in your mind that he was under doctor's care for methadone?
I'm sorry?
Have you not established in your mind through the testimony that he was under doctor's care?
We have not offered that yet, Judge. Those are statements by Mr. Sin.
You have the doctor on your witness list, correct? From the clinic?
We do. Judge, I was just going to address the objection.
Yes.
The objection's untimely. These items were listed in discovery. This should have been a subject for a motion to suppress.
Well, I still get to determine whether they're more prejudicial than probative, or whether they're even relevant. Certainly, an order of probation is not likely to come in given our prior discussion, correct?
In what regard specifically?
How does it come in your case in chief? There was going to be a stipulation about that issue, that he was on probation from Alabama, but you look at me quizzically.
I'm sorry?
Well, you were going to handle it carefully, delicately, properly.
Yes. But to the extent that related to the Alabama document discussion, that is about proving of his status in Alabama. This is evidence from his car.
All right, then let me make it easy for you. The pink sheet that order of probation from Alabama doesn't come in. The sheet's personal boundaries, breaking through barriers, coping with stigma and addiction recovery, methadone myths and benefits. The narcotic anonymous sheets don't come in. The meeting lists don't come in. Nor do the CA group schedules come in. And the behavioral treatment contract, I think, can come in.
Would you segregate them, please, as you just...
You're getting one in.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Over here. Over here.
I also want the record to reflect that the original evidence bag, 1515, as labeled by the patrol, lists the documents on the barcode scan printed list. And just so we're all there it says probation on that label. Just making you aware of that.
Then I think we need to change the evidence label. Although you could also put a sticker on this and just
I get that. I'm just making a record here so that.
Then the papers that I've disallowed, you can pick them right up off the bench, put them back in that bag, preserve that for any appeal issue you might have. The one that I'm allowing in can be labeled.
Thank you, Judge.
Sandy, do you have any objection based on that?
No, Your Honor.
Thank
Please
you.
note our objection, Judge.
Thank you.
There is another issue that I don't know whether that's coming up this time or not. The recording at the hospital that was made during the blood draw. There's a recording, Your Honor, that was made at the hospital, Fairview Hospital, of my client during blood draw where he consented to the blood draw. In that period of time that he's asking questions about his rights of consent, there are some discussions about where he asked whether or not he had taken a substance 2 weeks prior, whether that would have an effect on the results that day. And I believe the only reason the state would try to introduce that is to somehow demonstrate that he did take a substance 2 weeks prior, which is really not relevant to the day in question. But I don't know when that's coming in, so I'm addressing it now.
The recording does exist. It has been played for the defense. It was previously provided to them in discovery. The statements are those of Mr. Gaspar, and they're relevant as to his state of mind at the time of the consensual blood draw that he provided.
Is it your contention he was doing all this voluntarily, or had he been transported there by the police?
He was at the...
It's not like he walked into their clinic and said, "It's my appointment for a blood draw." He was only there because the state was seeking to obtain evidence against him.
Judge, they're his voluntary statements. Even if you want to say he's seized and in custody, they're still his voluntary statements.
I will disallow any statement about drug use 2 weeks prior, because that is not the issue here. The issue is, was he under the influence on this particular day at the time when he struck and killed the trooper?
So, just so I'm clear on the ruling, you're disallowing in the state's case in chief, if it should be raised or the door open to it by cross-examination or evidence or witness put forward by the defense, the state is reserving the right to use it.
Yes. For instance, if he would take the stand and say that his drug use was of a certain nature, and he would have evidence that contradicted that from his own statement, that's legitimate impeachment. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
No.
I believe that covers it for now.
Who do we have coming in?
Trooper Costarella, who was part of the collection team, we're going to be describing the collection effort. We're going to reference the physical exhibits from the scene, mostly associated with Trooper Velez, in bulk. We're not going through each one individually in a slow manner. I think that's going to be stipulated to by the defense.
Correct.
So that I'll reference a series of exhibits, for example, 1516 through 1519, 1522 through 1525, 1527 through 1573, and that they're all going to be stipulated in.
You will announce that to the jury?
Yes. And then after that, we have one remaining witness for the day, I believe.
And you think that's a long witness?
No, Your Honor, because again, with that witness, there's going to be a bulk of stipulations to the photos, so we'll show them approximately 20 of the photos, but about 1,500 photos will be stipulated to through this witness.
Are any of the photos of difficult nature? If so, just let us know.
I think all the photos are difficult nature, so that's kind of hard for me to answer. But there's only one photo of a body part that covers.
Amanda? So at some point in the next week or so, you'll walk me.
Can I get on the line?
Yes,
It
Your
doesn't
Honor.
have to be done daily, but just
Your Honor, While they're coming in, we have a firearm of Trooper Velez's that will be introduced into evidence that's been stipulated to. I have a gun lock for it.
Yeah, nothing comes in here in firearm unless there's a gun lock on it.
When do you want us, is it okay if we open the evidence back here, it's been stipulated to, open the evidence back here and have Sergeant Elliott put that lock on it? Thank you.
And if anybody questions it, you can put that in the record. But yeah, it should be nothing in here without a gun lock.
Defense agrees, Your Honor.
Yeah, this is the sheriff's office, so it will have to be returned.
It's my belief that any magazines were unloaded. There's magazines and evidence, but when they were unloaded, there should not be
I would
live
just ask
rounds.
you to check it for safety.
So just to be clear, Your Honor, the long gun box is going to be open too, because according to Sergeant Elliott, that doesn't actually contain a long gun, but I want him to verify that before we send it back. Is that okay?
Right. And you understand that I don't allow any firearms back in the jury room. If you want to show them to the jury, they can see them as introduced. They can see them through your presentation in closing, but they do not go back to the jury room, and at no time should they be in here without the gun lock.
Yes, Your Honor. Should we put the gun lock on it now?
Immediately. Yeah.
We'll take it outside, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Defense has no problem whatsoever with that procedure, Your Honor.
Good job. Okay, can I get a file? Jackson's file on the edge there. It's on the bench.
You want the one from Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I'll take them all. Just leave them. All rise for the jury. Court is in session. Please be seated.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Who went outside? Anyone?
Yes.
And is it beautiful?
Yes.
Well, while you were outside, and then after, we have been talking more between the parties and the court about presentation of evidence and how it might be expedited a little bit. And then I was doing more hearings, so I would have rather been outside in some circumstances. We're going to go ahead now with additional witnesses, and it should take us to the end of our normal day. Thanks.
Thank you, Judge. State calls Trooper Costarella.
Sir, if you can raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm, subject to the penalties of perjury, that the testimony you're about to give here will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Please be seated.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please state and spell your full name.
Sergeant Joseph Costarella, Costarella.
Where are you employed?
The Ohio State Highway Patrol.
I see that you're in plain clothes.
That's correct.
Is that your normal business attire?
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
I'm with the Office of Criminal Investigations. We typically wear plain clothes.
Okay, please keep your voice up. Maybe move the mic a little closer. Thank you. What are your duties as a plainclothes investigator for the patrol?
We investigate crimes on state-owned or leased property. If the road units would get into something that would require extensive follow-up, we would usually take some of that over and conduct in-depth investigations. State institutions.
All right. I want to direct your attention to September 15th, 2016. Where were you assigned at that time?
I was assigned to Cleveland District Office of Criminal Investigations.
Were you brought into the investigation and collection of evidence from the scene of the fatality of Trooper Kenneth Velez?
Yes.
Were you working in conjunction with others in the investigators division, or did you have a partner? How does that work?
We worked as a team to collect the evidence.
Describe the members of the team, please.
There was Trooper Daly, myself, Trooper Abshire, or Gonzalez at the time, and Trooper McGill.
Who was leading this effort?
Trooper Daly would primarily he collected all the evidence, physically collected all the evidence.
What was your function in that team?
I would assist him by basically writing the information of the item we were going to collect on a bag and had it ready. I would then hand the bag to Trooper Daly. He would collect the evidence and put it in the bag.
So I want to set some broad areas for discussion here, two different topics. The first topic is the roadway and any articles on the roadway that were collected or things associated with Trooper Velez. Do you understand?
Yes.
And the other topic would be either the operator of the black Hyundai Veloster, Mr. Gaspar, his person, or the contents of his vehicle. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as it pertains to the first topic, the evidence on the roadway, things and articles belonging to Trooper Velez and or his vehicle. Can you just give us an overview of the type of things that were collected?
Pieces of his uniform were collected. I remember a few bone fragments. The two vehicles were physically collected from the scene. Pieces and parts of the vehicles.
Okay. And I'm going to reference a series of exhibits, ladies and gentlemen. There's a stipulation that they're going to be admitted as a group. We're not going to belabor the identification and description of each bagged item in the interest of time.
I agree with that.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, the parties have examined all the evidence. They have been working on this case for a considerable amount of time, so they're in agreement as to what certain items are and how they may have been maintained. Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for your later understanding, we're going to be offering by stipulation with the foundation of this witness a series of exhibits. They're not continuous, but they're grouped. The first series would be 1516 through 1519, then 1522 through 1525, then 1527 through 1573. The last set being primarily photographs. And are you familiar with the things that I've just referenced, Trooper?
Yes.
In addition to that, did there come a point in time, some days afterwards, when you attended to the interior of the black Hyundai Veloster driven by Mr. Gaspar at the time of this incident?
Yes.
In connection with that, did you retrieve any items from that vehicle?
There were several papers from Community Action Against Addiction.
Okay, well, I'm just going to show you an exhibit here. States 1515A. Have you seen this page before?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
This is a document from Community Action Against Addiction. It's a behavioral treatment contract. It has the name Joshua Gaspar printed on it and a client ID of 1901. The contract is made on July 25th of 2016. It says attend 8 group counseling sessions per month, 4 individual counseling sessions per month. We'll submit 2 urine samples, 1 per week. We'll submit urine screens that are positive for methadone. We'll submit urine screens that are positive for methadone only by 15th August 2016. Agree to participate in the following activities: CAAA, Community Action Against Addiction groups, 2 per week, 12-step AA NA1 per week. It says, per Dr. DeFranco, if unable to adhere to the aforementioned community action against addiction guidelines for this MMTP, Mr. Gaspar's administrative taper will resume. If Mr. Gaspar does not satisfy 6 out of 6 of these requirements in 60 days, she will be scheduled to be seen by a multidisciplinary treatment team. Parties involved have signed this contract on the date specified above. No modifications of the contract will be effective unless it is in writing and is signed by all parties involved. There appears to be 4 signatures, counselor's name printed, counselor's signature. Looks like the counselor is Rona Huckabee, PhD, and client's name printed Josh Gaspar, and client's signature.
Okay. Is the signature legible
No, not to me.
for Gaspar?
No, sir.
Okay. And as far as these things that were collected from the vehicle, what did you do with them?
Well, I put these paperwork in a plastic bag, sealed it, and we put it in our Cleveland District evidence locker.
Did you do anything by way of attending any things that transpired at the hospital with Mr. Gaspar?
No.
So the involvement of yourself is for the scene collection of that items that we've just described, and this issue of the inventory of this vehicle. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to ask you a few brief questions, okay? Did you personally search my client's vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find any evidence indicative of illegal drug use in my client's vehicle?
Objection.
There was a vape pen in there, and that was the only thing that could have been related to a drug use in the car.
Okay. A vape pen meaning one of those pens that you either put tobacco in. I see people smoking them, but I think they also have them out there for weed too. Is that true?
I believe so. I'm not all that familiar with vape pens.
Sent that off for testing?
I did not personally know.
Okay. What about any type of other items in there that would draw your concern or your curiosity as an investigator?
None that I collected, sir.
Okay. Any alcoholic containers or alcoholic beverage?
None that I recall.
Okay. You took some photographs, correct?
No, I did not.
You had someone take some photographs.
Yes, there was a photographer.
And if those photographs were taken at the scene before that car was tampered with in any way, it would probably reflect the same things you saw.
Yes.
I recall some Rockstar energy drinks in there.
I would have to see the photos.
Okay. Maybe some Snickers bar wrappers.
From my recollection, the interior of the vehicle, when I looked through it, was rather disheveled, if you will. It was papers scattered about, and I believe he had some stuff from his work in there.
Okay.
Yes.
But no needles or burnt spoons or any of that kind of garbage.
We did not find any, no.
Thank you, sir.
Can we approach it?
Yes.
Do you recall collect? Oh, I'm sorry. Trooper, do you recall collecting a cigarette butt?
No, sir.
I'm going to show you a series of photographs touching on what Mr. Sin was just talking about. Bear with me 1 second. I want to show you a series of photos, 1,400. They're not necessarily sequential, but this stack ends with 1422. In a narrative fashion, take us through these. Tell us if you've seen what's depicted in the photo before, reference each exhibit by number, and tell us what you see in the photograph.
Okay, this is States Exhibit 1400. It appears to be a photograph of the glove box of Mr. Gaspar's vehicle. There is a king-size Reese's peanut butter cups wrapper and a Snickers wrapper on the floor. The glove box is opened. Appears to be miscellaneous paperwork folded within it. States Exhibit 1401.
Officer,
Yes, sir.
when you're done describing it, can you just show them briefly so they'll have some idea of the center? Thank you. Next one, please.
Okay, States Exhibit 1401 is another picture of the glove box showing, and as in the previous, there's looks like a can of something and again miscellaneous paperwork. Okay. States Exhibit 1405 is a photograph of I believe the passenger side rear of the vehicle. There's a box in there saying Timberlake vinyl siding, a plain white box, some glass fragments on the seat, and the center console appears to be open with a gray plastic bag in it and a folder with some miscellaneous papers on it. States Exhibit 1406 is a photograph of the same rear passenger seat. There appears to be a black rectangular elongated object lying next to the aforementioned boxes. States Exhibit 1407 is another picture taken from the passenger side rear door. This shows a little bit more of the ceiling. You can see it is caved in a little bit. You can also see the steering wheel and the front windshield a little bit in the corner, and it is cracked. States Exhibit 1408 is another picture taken from the right rear passenger door. It shows the aforementioned black rectangular item and a more closer up view of the roof coming in. States Exhibit 1409 is another picture of the rear passenger seat showing the Timberlake vinyl siding, white box, and the black rectangular object. States Exhibit 1410 is another photo taken from the passenger side rear doorway. Is a little bit more close-up of the Timberlake vinyl siding and the white box. State's Exhibit 1411 is a close-up picture of, looks like a window with a scan code above full installation details. State's Exhibit 1412 is a photograph taken, this would be on the floor of our evidence room. Appears to be the aforementioned black window in a black vinyl case, Timberlake vinyl siding, and a white box again. State's Exhibit 1413 is a picture of the rear hatch of Mr. Gaspar's vehicle with it opened up. There's several clothing items in there. Looks like a white laundry bag and some clear plastic cups, looks like. State's Exhibit 1414 is another picture of Mr. Gaspar's Hyundai's trunk. It shows the aforementioned white laundry bag. Looks like plastic lids or cups. A brown box, and looks like more of the vinyl siding booklets in there. State's Exhibit 1415 is another photograph of the hatch open of Mr. Gaspar's vehicle. The same aforementioned items, only it appears to be kind of a power tool or a saw. State's Exhibit 1416 is another photo of the rear trunk of Mr. Gaspar's vehicle, and again shows the same items. There's a little bit clearer picture of the, looks like a scale saw and some papers. State's Exhibit 1417 is a close-up picture of the aforementioned items. You can see perhaps some clothing items in the laundry bag. State's Exhibit 1418 is a picture of the floor of our evidence room again, with 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers t-shirts, championship t-shirts. Appear to have come from the white laundry bag. State's Exhibit 1419 is a picture of an Ohio dealer plate 005A1FD with an expiration of or a sticker, it says 318 on it. State's Exhibit 420 is another picture of the aforementioned dealer plate. State's Exhibit 1421 shows again the inside of Mr. Gaspar's vehicle. There appears to be a cement block shaped in the state of Ohio. The brown paper, or the brown cardboard box, says Corporate Express on it, and other miscellaneous items. State's Exhibit 1422 shows an Alabama license plate, 47 Mary Frank 488.
Is there any tag on that as to when it was last validated, or?
It says Alabama April, and there's a 16 sticker on it as well, right up there.
Three more, 1300, 1301, 1302.
State's Exhibit 1300 is a photograph, appears to be taken from the front passenger side doorway, looking into the front passenger and front driver's seat. There's a pack of Camel cigarettes on the ground, a Monster energy drink pack, the king-size Reese's peanut butter cups, glass fragments all about the vehicle, some air fresheners hanging from the mirror. Looks like a power cord coming out of the cigarette lighter.
The vehicle, have the chance to look or transfer evidence from Trooper Velez on the vehicle.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
On the vehicle, there was blood spatter which is blood droplets, basically, that spanned from the right rear passenger side of the vehicle over the top of the roof down to the hood of the vehicle. There were numbers on the license plate that had been smeared off, the blue numbering. There was a piece of dark
Your voice is trailing off.
I'm sorry. There's a piece of dark colored black cloth, dark colored, that was wedged in between the license plate and the screw used to fasten the license plate. There was also, I believe, a piece of white cloth that was found near the windshield area.
Did you have an opportunity to compare the clothing that Trooper Velez had worn the day of his death with the fragments of fabric that you just described being on the Hyundai?
Yes, we looked at them.
Were you able to make any comparisons as to a sock?
Trooper Velez's socks were black in color, which appeared to be consistent with the dark colored fabric from the license plate screw.
And was there damage to either of the socks?
Yes.
Was it consistent with having been torn by a screw?
Yes.
So although we don't know how the rest of his body was positioned, where this license plate is the typical front center of the bumper?
Yes, sir.
So one of his feet or ankles contacted that center area of the bumper where the license plate was. Is that your conclusion?
Yes.
And were blood stains collected for comparison by way of DNA if necessary?
Yes, Trooper Daly had collected blood samples off the vehicle.
Thank you, Trooper.
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
So you need to step down.
Sure.
You just put those. Those are all over the-
There was one. We can't do the very last one. Oh, well, then, that was 1302, Judge, which I'm
Right.
segregating.
At this time, the state will call Trooper Beal.
Sir, if you raise your right hand, you solemnly swear or affirm something to the penalty of perjury. The testimony about the figure will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You can see.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you please state your full name and spell it for the record?
Sure. My name is Trooper Brian J. Beal, B-R-I-A-N, middle initial J, B-E-A-L.
And sir, are you employed?
Yes,
By whom?
the Ohio State Highway Patrol.
And how long have you been employed by the Ohio State Highway Patrol?
This September will be 15 years.
And what is your position there?
I'm a trooper, state trooper.
And what are your daily assignments as a state trooper?
As a state trooper, generally we're assigned to enforce traffic and criminal law on state-owned and leased properties, including highways. Me, personally, for the last approximately 2 years, I've been part of the Cleveland Investigation Services.
And what does being part of the Cleveland Investigative Services Unit include?
So what we do is we would investigate crimes on state properties, rest areas, things like that. During this case, when this incident occurred, I was assigned to the Cuyahoga Hills Juvenile Correctional Facility. So if there was a felony status case that would occur in that facility, since it was a state property, I would be the investigating officer.
And Trooper Beal, were you employed with this unit on September 15th of 2016?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to respond to the fatal crash on I-90 westbound?
Yes.
How did you receive that assignment?
I believe it was a phone call. I was having lunch with 3 other troopers in our office, and we received a phone call saying that there was a fatal crash that occurred with Trooper Kenny Velez.
And did you respond to the scene?
Yes.
And what were your assignments or duties once you responded to the scene?
My initial general duty while I was at the scene was just to take direction from higher command, whatever needed to be done. You know, I'm a trooper, so we'll get it done. Primarily, it boiled down to me taking photographs at the scene.
And as part of you taking photographs at the scene, was there a team of you all taking photographs?
Yes, I was part of the Office of Investigative Services, the Cleveland portion taking the evidentiary photographs. There were also members of the crash reconstruction team who would also take photographs at the scene.
And if you recall, who were the members of both of those teams taking photographs on September 15th, 2016?
So myself, I took them for our section, and then the other 2 who took them for the crash reconstruction team were Sergeant at the time, John Thorne, and then Trooper Todd Jester.
Your Honor, I believe at this time we have a stipulation to state's exhibits, and they're going to be in walking groups 1 through 161, 162 through 484, 485 through 568, 569 through 594, 595 through 645, and then 800 through 1,452.
Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. We have that stipulation.
And the stipulation is that they are authentic and admissible.
Authentic and admissible, Your Honor.
Trooper Bill, in regards to the number of photos that were just named off, did you review all of these photos prior to you testifying today?
Yeah.
And were these photos inclusive of the group of photos that you took part in taking?
Yes.
I want to walk you through some of the photos. Trooper Bill, beginning with State's Exhibit number 33. Can you explain what this is we see on the screen?
Sure. That's a photograph that was taken of Kenny's car at the scene. That is the passenger side of the vehicle, and it's the outside rear view mirror.
And, sir, why was this photograph taken?
That photograph was taken to document any damage that we saw out there, in which we saw you can make some cracks out on the rear view mirror.
Aside from the cracks in the rear view mirror that is illustrated in State's Exhibit number 33, based on your photographs and observations of the victim's car, was there any other damage to Trooper Velez's vehicle?
Not that I noticed at the scene.
Turning your attention to State's Exhibit number 40, can you explain to us what this is a photograph of?
Sure. This is a photograph of me standing in a general area in front of Kenny's car. It is facing in a general direction of west, and shows the defendant's vehicle, the black vehicle with the driver's side door open.
And sir, why was this photo taken?
Just to show final rest of the defendant's vehicle and just a west directional picture of the scene.
And State's Exhibit 90, can you explain to us what we see in this photo?
Sure. This is a photograph of the defendant's vehicle. This photograph documents the damage that is caused by the defendant's vehicle striking Trooper Velez.
And why was this photograph taken?
Just to document the damage that the defendant's vehicle incurred while hitting Kenny.
And State's Exhibit 121, can you explain to us what's shown in this photograph?
Sure. This is the top portion of the hood, the windshield, and the sunroof area of the defendant's vehicle.
And why was this photograph taken?
This was again to document the impact of Kenny onto the defendant's vehicle.
And State's Exhibit number 230, can you explain to us what it is we see in this photograph?
Sure, this is another west-facing photograph. I'm generally standing in it would be the high-speed lane of travel, and this is a photograph of a blood area in the berm and the defendant's vehicle with the driver's side door open.
Now, on the left side of State's Exhibit number 230, do you see any skid marks?
On the left side in the berm, I do not see any skid marks. What we did believe that was documented at the scene was in the rumble strip area, the part to the left of the yellow fog line, that there was some blood remnants that we believed were from Kenny.
And turning your attention to State's Exhibit number 233, can you tell us what this is?
Yeah, I documented that through a photograph. We believe that that was part of Kenny's bone that we documented from him.
State's exhibit number 254. Can you tell us what we see in this photo?
Sure. This is a photograph of the interior of the defendant's vehicle. It was taken from the open driver's side door.
And what is pictured on the seat of the driver's side of the vehicle?
It appears that the black particles towards the more rear of the bottom of the seat are glass and like a safety glass, and the cord coming out an iPhone charger.
State's exhibit number 267. Can you tell us what we see in this photograph?
Yeah, this is the front license plate of the defendant's vehicle. It shows the damage that occurred when Kenny was struck. On the right side, if you're looking at the vehicle, you can see the right license plate bolt that has fiber in it, which would be the driver's side if you're sitting in the vehicle. The top of the 5, the 6, and the 8 in the numbers of the letters, or in the numbers of the plate, have the blue color washed away, and you see the bend at the bottom of the plate from the impact with Kenny.
State's exhibit 296. Can you explain to us what's depicted in this photograph?
Yeah, this is the top of the defendant's vehicle. In the photograph, this is taken from the driver's side, as I'm more than likely standing on my tippy toes to try to get a photograph of it, or holding the camera up. In the broken glass, so the front of the vehicle would be to the left as you're looking at the photo, and the rear of the vehicle would be to the right. So in the photo, you see Kenny's cell phone, one of the eyepieces of his sunglasses, and the case is actually, it appears that it's 2 cell phones, but it's the one phone with the case on it, or coming off of it, I'm sorry.
State's exhibit 306. Can you tell us what's depicted in this photograph?
This is Kenny's protective vest. The sunglass frame is badge.
And for State's exhibit number 306, where was this item located in relation to the other vehicles on the scene?
This one was going to be between the cruiser, I believe, and then the defendant's vehicle.
State's exhibit number 348. Can you tell us what's depicted in this photograph?
So, excuse me. This is a photograph of me standing at the median wall. I am still in the westbound lane. So I'm in the berm area where the incident actually occurred. So I'm leaning over, and that gentleman pictured there is Lieutenant, the lieutenant of the Office of Investigative Services, my boss, Darren Huggins, his patrol vehicle, and in the middle, on that opposite side, on the south side of the eastbound lanes, you can see what we recovered as Kenny's boot, work boot that he was wearing that day.
And this boot is located where?
That is on the south side of the road. So it is actually on the complete opposite side, the eastbound lane. So the opposite lanes of where we were at, if that makes sense.
State's exhibit 367. Can you tell us what is depicted in this photograph?
Sure. This is me standing over an overpass, attempting to shoot the total scene, short of being in an aircraft or having a drone to take a photograph. I got up on the bridge of the overpass to try to get a general photograph of the scene, just to show the westbound lanes and the general berm area where the incident occurred.
Now, Trooper Bill, why are you taking the photograph from this angle?
I took this photograph to document, to actually show how the berm is depicted in real life and how it would collapse down at the end and open up to that big general area where Kenny's patrol car was.
And Trooper Bill, from your observations of the scene and based on this photograph, is there a significant portion of this stretch where the berm is in fact wider than a typical berm?
Yes.
And based on your observations of the scene, about how long of a length is it that this berm is in fact wider than a typical berm?
I mean, if you're talking about how long of a stretch it is, a typical berm. I worked in the Toledo area, and some of the berms over there are extremely small. If anyone drives up 77, the berm on the left side is virtually non-existent up by the Grant area. So to say that this is a lot bigger than the other berm, or than those berms, yeah, you can fit 2 to 2.5 vehicles in there. The length, the distance, I couldn't tell you. From here to there, I'd say it's probably approximately about a football field, I would say.
And Trooper Bill states Exhibit 478. Can you tell us what's depicted in this photograph?
Yeah, that photograph shows Kenny's gun belt, which was manually cut by what we believe was one of the first responders at the scene. And at the top of the photograph, his straw Stetson hat.
And why was this photograph taken, sir?
The photograph was just to document the items as they sat at the scene before they were initially collected and secured.
One moment, please, Your Honor.
Yes.
Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
No questions.
Thank you.
House, do you have any additional witnesses today?
That exhausts our available witnesses for the day, Your Honor.
All right, so the party's going to remain. You'll talk with me about witnesses and scheduling for next week, correct?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that means that because the attorneys have talked, speeded up this afternoon, so you won't hear any more evidence today. I'm going to send you home, and I hope you have a great weekend. Keep in mind, you may not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else. It's crucially important now. Don't let anyone discuss the case with you or in your presence. So if you're at the store, if you're at a ball game, if you're at church, you cannot talk about this at all. In fact, I urge you not to think about it, because we are not anywhere close to the end yet, and that is the proper time to think about the case, all right? Don't form or express any opinion, no independent investigation. Don't go out to I-90, don't consult any books, none of that, as you understand well. And no media accounts. You have the best position of all of us to make a decision on this case, all right? So have a great weekend. We'll be back downstairs at 9 on Monday. As you know, other people are going to be doing the video and all that. We'll try and get you upstairs while they're still engaged. All right, so thanks.
All rise. I'll take you now. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Good night. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Have a nice weekend. You too. Thank you. Mike, the like coordination. Thank you. Have a good the weekend. Good night. Have a nice weekend. Thank you, ladies. Good night.